Om apavitra pavitro va sarva avasthang gatopi va yasmaret pundarika akshang sabhaya abhyantara suchihi. Please repeat. Shri Vishnu, Shri Vishnu, Shri Vishnu. So this mantra is chanted before every ISKCON fire sacrifice. And it's very significant. Whether you're pure or impure, regardless of your past or your present or even your future. If you can remember, everybody say, Pundarika Aksham, the Lord who has lotus eyes, who goes by many names such as Gopal, then simply by remembering, you are cleansed inside and out. So you're all clean now because you chanted Sri Vishnu, Sri Vishnu, Sri Vishnu. Mukang karoti vachalang pangang langhayate giring yat kripatamahang vande Sri Gurung Dinataranam yat kripatamahang vande Paramananda Madhavam. So there are two mantras. They both have the same except for that last line. One is by the mercy of Guru, the other is by Krishna Madhav. That if you're deaf and dumb, still, if you have blessings of Guru, you can speak. And if you are lame, cannot walk, by mercy of Guru and Krishna, you can cross mountains. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Militang Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. My spiritual master, he opened my darkened eyes, which were blinded by the darkness of ignorance. He gave me the anjana, the ointment of knowledge, which removing the cataracts. And thus, by the mercy of Guru, I'm able to hear and chant and speak this message. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namane. My spiritual master is situated at the lotus feet of Vishnu. And he is very dear to Krishna on this earth. And therefore his name is Bhakti Vedanta Swami. Knowledge mixed with devotion. Namaste Sarasvate Deve Gauravani Pracharane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyatya Deshatarane. Srila Prabhupada is bona fide guru in disciplic succession because he has a spiritual master in disciplic succession. And he had, going all the way back to Krishna. And Srila Prabhupada is preaching the message of Lord Chaitanya. Lord Chaitanya's message is love of God, which is my favorite topic, but I'm not going to speak on that some other time. But that is my favorite topic, love of God. So Prabhupada has come specifically to drive out in the Western worlds and now in India, unfortunately, the two most dangerous philosophies, Mayavad and impersonalism, voidism, Buddhism, Mayavadism. He has come to drive them away. Now the two mantras that I try to live by. Trinadapi sunichena tarar eva sahishnuna amanina manadena kirtaniya sadahari. So this prayer, third Shikshastakam, I would credit to be the success, any success I've had in my life, whether it be in preaching or in my marriage and with dealing with people in general. This teaching of Lord Chaitanya to always act meek and humble, to be more tolerant than the tree, to offer all respects to others, and not to worry about what people are talking and thinking about me. If I can do that, Harer Nama, Harer Nama, Harer Namaiva Kevalam, Kalau Nastyeva, Nastyeva, Nastyeva Gatir Anyata, then I will be able to easily chant the holy name of God. God, Nam Nam Mukari Bahudan Nijasarava Shakti, Tatrar Pita Niyamatak Smarane Nakala. So Lord Chaitanya's second instruction is that God has hundreds and millions and so many names. And each name of God has a specific potency. Of course, I am a Krishna salesman. So I distribute the names Krishna. Good to see you after a long time. And your children have grown so nicely. Make sure they come up for special blessings. And yourselves too.
Yes, we will.
Everybody at the end, after the program. That's one of my trademark features. I do not charge. Blessings are free to whoever comes. Jai. Wow. Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Goratvashe Namaha. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, you have in your ISKCON Laguna Beach Panchatattva. Lord Chaitanya is the most magnanimous, most munificent incarnation. Why? Because he is freely giving love of God. Whether you like it or want it, he still gives it. Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhakta Rupa Swarupakam Bhaktavatarang Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam. Lord Chaitanya appears in 5 features, but actually he's Krishna, and his expansion is Nityananda, who is Balaram, and incarnation, Advaita, is Mahavishnu, and his energy, his Bhakti Shakti, is Gadadhar. And then finally we have Srivas Thakur, who is actually Narada Muni. And it just so happens, tonight's class is the words of Narada Muni. So it's just right. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Everyone please repeat. All right. Shri Yudhishthir Uvacha Grihastha etang padaving vidina yena chanjasa yaya deva rishe bruhi madrisho griha mudhadi. So this particular section that I'm going to read from is found in the 7th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam, of course, is the science of God explained. It is the natural commentary on the Vedanta Sutra by the very same author. Prabhupada explains that if someone writes a book, the author knows the intention of what he's writing. Others may understand or not understand, but the author, he knows, he understands. So Vedanta Sutra is so scholarly, and you have to study Sanskrit, and you have to know the 108 Upanishads, otherwise it will not make any sense. Just as anyone who writes computer programs, it's written in code. To me, it looks like numbers and letters. But to the person who knows the code, yes, this does this does this. That's how this technology works. So Vedanta Sutra is written in technical Sanskrit philosophical codes, but not to worry. The author, Vyasadeva, wrote his own commentary, and everything he wanted to place in the Vedanta Sutra is there in the 18,000 slokas of Srimad Bhagavatam. So this is in the 7th canto, the first 10 chapters of the 7th canto is the narration of Nrsimha Katha. Why Nrsimha appeared, why did Nrsimha kill the father of Prahlad, how Prahlad was tortured, how Prahlad always remained faithful to Krishna, never rejected. And when his father said, "There is no God, I am God," the 5-year-old boy said, "No, you are not God. Krishna is God." And because of that, Hiranyakashipu decided, "I will kill your God." Because Prahlad said, when he was asked, "Where is your God?" Prahlad said, "My God is everywhere." And Hiranyakashipu laughed. Silly boy. No. If he's everywhere, is he in this pillar? Prahlad said, "Of course he's there." So to keep the words of Prahlad true, Nrsimha appeared from the pillar. And there was a fight between Hiranyakashipu and Nrsimha. And at dusk, in order to keep all of Lord Brahma's benedictions intact, Nrsimhadev killed Hiranyakashipu. After the killing, all the demigods headed by Brahma, Shiva, Indra, so all of them, they offered prayers to Nrsimha, but he was still angry. He was still roaring. None of the demigods could pacify him. So then Brahma went to Nrsimha's wife, Lakshmi. "Do something. Calm your husband down." She said, "Oh, I've never seen him like this." That's a clue. That's a clue. And it works both ways. So then, Brahma had no other recourse. He pushed Prahlad, "Go. Make Nrsimha calm down." And Prahlad offered his obeisances. "Tavakara kamalavarena kamadbhuta sringam." Nrsimhadev saw the 5-year-old boy, placed his lotus hand on his head. Prahlad was now blessed with spiritual knowledge, Brahma Gyan, and offered over 40 prayers toward Lord Nrsimha. So much philosophy is there and information is there. So after Prahlad offered prayers, Nrsimha tested him. "All right, you suffered so much on my account. What benediction you want?" Prahlad said, "I'm not a merchant, Vanik. I don't worship you to get something." It's like mothers. You take care of your children, practically you worship your children, but you're not expecting anything. You do it out of love. And Prabhupada told us, study how the mother takes care of the children. That gives you an idea of how the pure devotee deals and loves Krishna. Spontaneous. No expectation. Spontaneous. So Nisringa insisted, no, take a benediction. So Prahlad, being a pure devotee, said, okay, if I must take a benediction, then I do not want any more material desires in my heart. That's the topmost prayer. No more material desires. You are my master. I am your servant. That's all there needs to be. Then Nisringa said, more. Ask for more. Prahlad, being pure, had no hatred for his father, who tried to kill him numerous times. Prahlad said, don't send my father to hell. So Nisringa had Prahlad do the Shraddha funeral. This is Shraddha's season, right? So are we dedicating for your father? We can do like that, right? I was thinking. Besides being your birthday, we can do several things. If anybody has ancestors, we can offer this for their benefit so that they can eventually become devotee and go back to Godhead. Before Nisringadev left, Nisringadev chastised Lord Brahma. Don't do this again. You indulged Hiranyakashipu, giving him so many benedictions. Don't do that again. And Nisringadev also made a promise at that time that Prahlad, never again in your dynasty will I kill anyone. So Prahlad's grandson was Bali Maharaj. Vamanadev did not kill Bali Maharaj. After all, Bali is also pure devotee, Mahajan. And even though Vamanadev cheated him, Chalayasi Vikramane Balim Adbhuta Vamana Padanaka Janita Janapavana. Although Chalayasi, Vamana cheated him. Yes, he cheated him. Because he said, I just want 3 steps of land. And Bali said, 3 steps? I can give you your own planet. I can give you so many things. No, Vamanadev said, no, just 3 steps. But with 2 steps, he covered everything up and down, the whole universe. Took everything away from Bali because Bali had conquered the heavenly kingdom. Indra and the demigods had to hide, make themselves invisible. Bali was sitting on the throne of heaven. But Vamanadev worked on behalf because of his mother, Aditi. Aditi wanted her sons reinstated. So that was one reason why Vamana had to cheat Bali. But after 2 steps, Vamanadev said, so you promised me 3, you only gave me 2. Where is the 3rd step? And Bali said, haha, I still have my head. Put your 3rd step on my head. And Prabhupada one time said, in that gesture, Bali purchased the Lord. So Bali was sent down to the low planetary system, Sutala. But if you study the Bhagavatam, Sutala, from the materialistic point of view, is more opulent than heaven. More opulent. And Vamanadev agreed to be Bali's doorkeeper. And later when Ravana came conquering, Ravana came to Bali's planet, but he was greeted by the original soccer player, Vamana, who kicked him, sent him back where he came from. Good kick. You've seen the soccer players? You like soccer? Oh, okay. You get the ding. All right. Does he play American soccer or?
No. He plays soccer.
Soccer, not football. Because I know they call it football, right? At least in South America, when I used to go there. Yes. So he likes the real thing. What about cricket? No cricket? Okay.
He's making a face.
So, later, Bali's grandson was another demon, Bana Asura. And there was a fight between Krishna and Bana Asura. Bana Asura had gotten 1,000 arms from Lord Shiva, and he used to play drums for him. So, there was a fight, and so Krishna, with his Sudarshana Chakra, cut off 996 arms of Banasura. He didn't kill him, because he told him, I promised your great ancestor that never again I would kill anyone in the dynasty. But you were puffed up, Bana Asura. So I had to take 996 arms. I left you 4. Now don't cause any more trouble. So after the whole narration of Nisringa, which is the first 10 chapters of the 7th canto, Yudhishthira, he has been hearing this whole narration of Nisringa during the time that Krishna killed the demon Shishupal at the Rajasuya sacrifice. Everyone saw the Sudarshan Chakra cut off the head of that personality, Shishupal. And then they saw that Shishupal's spirit soul entered Krishna's body like a meteor, like a shooting star. Everyone was like, wow. So Yudhishthira was sitting right by Narada Muni and said, what is this? Can you explain? So that's why he spoke about Nisringa. And then there was more discussion between Narada and Yudhishthira, and it was about the topic of Varna Ashram, the scientific social structure. So that's where we pick up. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So, there are 5 chapters comprising this second discussion between Narada and Yudhishthira. And as I said, it's about Varnashram. And one chapter is called Ideal Family Life. And some of the instructions may seem interesting or even controversial. But I've selected just one portion, and hopefully it will inspire all of us. I am also householder. I'm not sannyasi. So I also have to strive for ideal family life. That's what it's all about. Ideal family life. Shri Yudhishthira Uvacha Grihastha Etang Padaving Vidinayena Chanjasa Yaya Deva Rishe Bruhi Madrisho Griha Mudhadi. That's a very strong word. Griha Mudhadi. Yudhishthira is being very harsh with himself. He's self-deprecating. Maharaj Yudhishthira inquired from Narada Muni, my Lord, O great sage, kindly explain how we, who are staying at home without knowledge of the goal of life, may also easily attain liberation according to the instructions of the Vedas. So Yudhishthira is the exemplary Grihastha, even though he calls himself Griha Mudhadi. But actually, you study the Mahabharata, Yudhishthir's character is completely wonderful to a fault, you could say. So he wants to know, we are Grihasthas. Can we achieve liberation? Is that possible? So Narada is now going to reply. And those who know me, Narada Muni is one of my personal heroes. I would like to become some kind of Narada Muni, traveling all over the world. No vehicle. He just flies. Transcendental. I would love that. Dream on. Yeah, I know. Anyway, Narada Muni is my hero. Narada Muni Bhajaya Vina Radhika Ramana Name. Narada Muni is so special. Prabhupada says he is the most important acharya in our disciplic succession. Narada Muni. That's quite a statement. And Narada, he received a special instrument from Krishna. Not that he went to Loi Bazaar or anywhere else. He got his instrument directly from Krishna. That instrument is a veena. And when he plays the strings, it does not go bing, bing, bing. No. It sounds Radhika Ramana. Everybody say. Again. Again. 3 times is the charm. Yes, that's a special instrument. You have a guitar, I have a guitar, it makes a sound. Plank, plank, plank. But Narada's instrument, special, coming from Krishna. Sri Narada Uvacha Griheshu Avastito Rajan Kriya Kuravan Yatochita Vasudev Arpanang Sakshad Upasita Mahamunim. So that's the word. Vasudeva Arpanam. Everybody. That's the key word. Narada replied, my dear King Yudhishthir, those who stay at home as householders must act to earn their livelihood. And instead of trying to enjoy the results of the work themselves, they should offer these results to Krishna, Vasudeva. So that is the gist of several teachings of Bhagavad Gita. You'll see that Krishna says, if you do anything, what does Krishna say? Do it for me, Krishna. He said, if you don't offer your food to me, what are you eating? Sin only. So, and Krishna also said, work, same thing Narada is saying here. Work has to be like a sacrifice to God. So, this is the first thing Narada is instructing. Now he says, how to satisfy Vasudeva, everybody say, Vasudeva, in this life can be perfectly understood through the association of great devotees of the Lord. And this was also Lord Chaitanya's, one of his chief instructions, Sadhu Sangha, which is what this is. We're not here to play party games. We're here to Vasudev Arpanam, worship God, hear about God, remember God, and be godly. Not be God, but be godly. There's a difference. The Mayavadis want to be God. Paundraka said, I am Vasudev. And he demanded that Krishna give him the 4 weapons. And Krishna said, sure, if you can handle it, here's my Sudarshan Chakra. See how you handle it. Yes. No. The devotees want to be godly. Even Jesus said, of God. So this point of association with devotees, this is so important for our spiritual advancement. That's if you want spiritual advancement. That's the first question. Do you want spiritual advancement? Because there's a price you pay. So, association of great devotees. All right. Then he says, Shrinvan Bhagavato Bhikshnam Avatara Katamritam Sradadhano Yata Kalam Upashanta Janavratam. But before I go, there's one question. Because I have met somebody years and years and years ago. Somebody I know for perhaps 30 years. And about 10 years ago, he came up to me and said, you know what? I hear you talk about association of devotees, but I don't see any devotees. And he even brought this up in public. When I was speaking on this topic, he actually said, I don't see any devotees. And I said, then you are hopeless. Because if you think you're the only devotee, wow, that, I can't help you. Because Lord Chaitanya's whole principle is to remain meek and humble and associate with those who are more advanced. That's the whole process. But if you think there's nobody advanced, right? Just like during the pandemic, are we over it? Are we past COVID?
Yes.
You confirm? I just got my 4th shot.
I want to get it too.
Okay. But you said we're out of it.
I hope so.
He hopes. Do we have any?
Stay out of it.
Okay. Are there any doctors in the house? No doctors? Okay. Anyway, you know that during the pandemic, so many people, they rejected the vaccines. And so what did they go for instead? A medicine that's used for cows and horses. And I was going, wow. Unbelievable. And so many other things they were trying. Shrinvan Bhagavato Bhikshnam Avatara Katamritam Sardadano Yata Kalam Upashanta Janavrita Satsangach Chanakai Sangam Atmajayat Majadishu Vimuchain Muchyamaneshu Svayam Swakvad Utitaha. You may ask, why is he chanting the Sanskrit slokas? Prabhupada wanted his disciples to recite these shlokas in public, and the Sanskrit language is reformatory. That by chanting the Sanskrit, you improve in character. Next instruction. A Grihastha must associate again and again with saintly persons, and with great respect must hear the nectar of the activities of the Supreme Lord and his incarnations, as these activities are described in Srimad Bhagavatam and other Puranas. So this is how we associate with saintly persons. First thing, respect. Then hear, listen. And the mark of a saintly person is he talks about God. He talks about Srimad Bhagavatam, as it says here, the activities of the Supreme Lord and his incarnations. How many incarnations? Oh. Go to the ocean. How many waves? Is there any end to the waves? There's no end to the incarnations. They keep coming and coming and coming. And the incarnation for right now, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thus, one should gradually become detached from affection for one's wife and children, exactly like a man awakening from a dream. So here we get into some controversy. Narada is saying something very interesting. Yes, he's going to explain it, but first the principle, detached. So this quality of detachment is required if one wants to go back home, back to Godhead. If one wants liberation, so many times in Gita it is mentioned, one must learn detachment. But detachment is like this kartal. The kartal has two sides, all right? You strike on the inside. Here's the outside. So one side is detachment, but the other side is attachment to Krishna. That's the key. Not just detachment. I am, like my daughter has said so many times throughout the last couple of years, I'm done with COVID. Like she was so fed up with all the rules and this and that, wear a mask, this, that. So one time she says, I'm done with COVID. But I said, well, COVID's not done with you. That's the problem. So there are two sides, not just detachment, but that detachment will only remain if you have some attachment for Krishna. Otherwise, that detachment will ultimately fail and you'll be forced to become attached to something material. That detachment won't last. This is explained in Bhagavad Gita. Parang drisva nivartate. Look, take me for example. I'll use myself. I was not raised Hindu. I was raised from birth to eat meat and fish and eggs. For 23 years, that's what I ate. But one day came and I got Mahaprasad. And when I got that Mahaprasad, I stood up. Give me more! Give me more! And the devotee said, if you want more, you have to come back tomorrow. So I decided, there's nowhere in New York I can get this food. I'm coming. Just for the food. And look at me now. Does it show? Yes. You've heard me say hundreds of times. Why did I enthusiastically embrace this Namahat preaching since 1994? Why was it? Because I knew if I did a good program, there'd be good prasad at the end. Yes. And my preaching has taken me all over the world. I was mentioning this the other day in one of my Zoom classes. I've eaten in hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of Hindu homes. In India, South Africa, in Australia, in South America. I've eaten all over the world in so many Indian homes. I've eaten, tonight is Gujarati, right? Yeah. Tonight's Gujarati night? Mitejal? Is tonight Gujarati Kana?
Oh,
Punjab? I don't have a problem. I'm an equal opportunity eater. I'll eat. Okay, no problem. Do we have paranthas?
Yeah.
Oh! Yes, very good. So I eat in Gujarati homes, Bengali homes, and Punjabi homes, and South Indian homes, Bihari homes, because Kundan's a Bihari, right? So much variety. So how is it that since the day I joined the temple, I never again touched meat, fish, or eggs? How is it? Because it was replaced with something superior. And Prabhupada told us that people want that taste of the meat. Why? They want the blood. But they don't know the cow is already giving you her blood in the form of milk and ghee and yogurt and butter. I hope I can make it till prashad time. I'm already hungry. I've been fasting you've been fasting all day? Yeah, me too. So, that ghee, and I'm so proud to say, I've been with my wife eating her food every day since 1980. She has never served me anything other than cooked in butter or ghee. Yes. Happy stomach, happy husband. Yes. So when you get a higher taste, then lower things, it doesn't matter. Just like, do you play Arjuna? That's your name, right, Arjuna? Arjun. Okay, Arjuna. We have another Arjun too. Say hello to your next door neighbor. So, do you play with toy cars?
No, I play with Jasper. He plays with toy cars.
Who plays with toy cars? All right, how old is he? 6? So when you become 16, you're not going to play with those toy cars anymore. Mommy and daddy are going to get you the real thing. And the idea of, it's just an example, he's never going to go back to that little car once he gets the real thing. So the same way, when you get, there used to be a commercial years ago about milk, real food. Yes, does a body good. So when you get prashad, cooked in nicely by devotees, you have no desire to go anywhere. So the idea is, when it says here, detached from affection, it means to become detached from the bodily concept of life, which is the first lesson of Bhagavad Gita, the first lesson of transcendental knowledge. To become detached from affection simply on the material plane. Kunti said the same thing in her prayers to Krishna. When Krishna was getting on the chariot to leave Hastinapur and go back to his kingdom in Dwaraka, Kunti stopped him. She stopped him. And one of her prayers was, I'm Kunti, I'm the mother of the Pandavas, but I don't want any more of this bodily consciousness. I want my love and devotion to be fixed on you exclusively, which is what Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. Mom, your verse. Mam ekam sharanam vraja. Exclusive devotion to Krishna. As the Gujaratis, the Pushti Marg, what do they chant? Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. I take shelter. I surrender to Krishna. So that's Krishna's ultimate instruction. Oh boy, I'm seeing so many people I haven't seen in 12 years or more. Tears are flowing from my eyes. Oh, okay. This is such a good, I'm very, very happy seeing you all. Because he says, like a man awakening from a dream, because that is the secret teaching of the Bhagavatam. I'll show you the verse. The secret teaching of the Bhagavatam is that material existence is a dream. But it's not okay, I'll wake up. No, you're already awake. It's a different kind of awake. Just like right now, there's this new philosophy, woke culture. You've heard of the woke culture? So we are spiritually woke. We're woke on the transcendental platform. As soon as you accept Bhagavad Gita, you're spiritually woke. As soon as you chant Hare Krishna, what's the Hare Krishna mantra?
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare
Ah, thank you for reminding me. Soon as you hear that mantra, you are spiritually woke. Let's continue. Yavad artam upasino dehe gehe cha pandita virakto raktavattatra nrit loke naratang nyasit. While working to earn one's livelihood as much as necessary to maintain body and soul together, one who is actually learned should live in human society unattached to family affairs, although externally appearing very much attached. That is the secret of my marriage. Be detached internally, but externally, I have to show and demonstrate and act, not just say. Like, I have to actually prove it. So, internally, so many things, okay, but I'm remaining focused on my spiritual advancement. But because I'm householder, there are so many family obligations. Obligations. That means there are certain things, whether I like to or not, I have to do. Parents, sometimes you may not feel like going to work, but you know, I got to take care of the family. So, I don't feel like it, still. That's what duty is all about. This is explained in Bhagavad Gita, that you may feel like something, no, it doesn't matter. What is my duty? That is the question. What is my duty? There's a verse in the Bhagavatam about King Parikshit. King Parikshit, don't mind this, I have one of those conditions. King Parikshit is described as, he is always consciously asking himself, what is my duty? Yudhishthira was the same way. He was always wondering, what is the right course of action? If you read the Mahabharata, so many incidents come up. Bhima wants permission. Let me go. I'll kill all the Kauravas right now. Just let me go. Yudhishthira says, no, it's not the right time. So Yudhishthira was always considering what is his proper duty. So that is the secret. Internally, you're detached, but externally, you demonstrate, you act appropriately your duty, and show that you are very much attached. Gyatayak pitarau putra, bratara surido pare, yad vadanti yad ichchanti, chanu modeta nirmama. An intelligent man in human society should make his own program of activities very simple. So that's another key. No, I have this, don't worry. An intelligent man in human society should make his own program of activities very simple. Like Prabhupada used to say, simple living, high thinking. So you want to not become too entangled in so many material activities. So as far as yourself, keep things simple. If there are suggestions from friends, children, parents, brothers, or anyone else, externally he should agree, saying, yes, that is all right. But internally, he should be determined not to create a cumbersome life in which the purpose of life will not be fulfilled. So, no, I'm on a roll. Don't worry. Hare, everybody chant Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
So, the purpose of life is to achieve self-realization and to go back home, back to Godhead. So that is always there in the forefront. But one has to be intelligent, has to use intelligence. Yavad briyeta jartarang, tavat satvang hidehinam, adikang yo bimanyeta, sustaino dandam arhati. One may claim proprietorship as to as much wealth as required to maintain body and soul together. But one who desires proprietorship over more than that must be considered a thief and deserves to be punished by the laws of nature. So, what this means is, yes, you're allowed to live comfortably. Yes, you can live nicely in the material world, but there should be a balance between spiritual life and material life. There should be a balance. It's like this, a scale. So there's a balance. I do everything for my duties, my life, but I also maintain my spiritual life. Okay, I have to end here. Maybe we could have some chanting and then RT at 6 o'clock.